Hello, everybody. My name is David Chuka, and I'm a co host on Inside the Techosystem podcast.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emmanuel, and I'm a co host of Inside the Techosystem.
We met at an internship, my first ever tech internship in 2018. We're both interns, but Emmanuel had done about 5 months already, and I was on my first month. So, we spent like 1 month together learning how to. No, Emmanuel learned how to code already. I was one learning actually. So,
So, I study computer science, and I'm currently a full time software engineer. My area of expertise is backend.
I also studied computer science. Contrary to popular belief, some people think I studied mass comm. Yeah, I studied computer science at the University of Ilorin. I like to call myself a software person because I do multiple things with software that goes beyond just programming. So yes, I am a software person. I create content about software development. I also write software. So yeah, software person. Inside the Ecosystem is a podcast that tries to be fun and insightful at the same time, meaning you're going to have a lot of fun listening to the podcast and you're going to get a lot of insightful topics about tech and the ecosystem. So, tech and the tech ecosystem inside the techosystem. See what I did there? So, yeah. So,
Mm,
it's a podcast that is. Man doesn't agree with me.
I mean, the wordplay was a bit cringe, but yeah,
We've been using the same wordplay for 3 years. Please rest. Anyways,
not the way you said it
is
just now.
the podcast is a podcast about tech, basically. We'll talk about different topics in tech and the ecosystem as well.
On Inside the Ecosystem podcast, we cover careers in tech, startups and founding stories, and interesting developments in the tech ecosystem.
Yeah, we don't gossip on our show.
Actually, I forgot one thing. We do gossip on the show.
That's a lie. But check us out, Sha. You may find recent gist you didn't know existed anywhere else. So
Yeah, yeah.
okay, so I've told this one a couple of times, and Emmanuel has made sure to tell me that every time I say it, Emmanuel tells me that is the wrong origin story. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pass the mic to Emmanuel and let him tell the origin story by himself.
Thank you. Thank you. So the story of Inside the Ecosystem is actually pretty interesting. Of course, I would say that. But yes, it was interesting. So Chuka and I met in 2018. We did our internship. We spent some time together. We had a lot of interests, and one of which was basketball. And at the time, I was very interested in, trying to see how we could record videos of basketball. Actually, the term I coined was a basketball vlog. And they were like, yeah, it would be nice. People should, learn about basketball and all that. And after we finished our internship, we didn't talk about it for a long time. And eventually it came up again
Life
in
was hard.
2019. Yeah, life was actually hard.
2020, I guess.
2020, right? It was the pandemic year. And I reached out to Chuka and I was like, hey, someone invited me to her podcast. And I think podcast might be a very good idea. So we started to do some research and said, okay, let's do some research, let's figure out everything before we start. By the end of the day,
In
I
one
think
night,
the research didn't go that far. And then
actually.
one night I was like, if we're really going to start this thing, we should start it now. Because the
Just do
excuses
it.
were given were, oh, we don't have the mic, we don't have this, we don't have that. But eventually we said, hey, this is the night we have to record, and we recorded with our phones. So that's how the podcast started.
I don't know how a basketball vlog turned into a podcast. So definitely, Emmanuel's story is different from mine. But I would say we used to have a lot of technical conversations. Two interns just, learn the ropes, get into the industry for the first time. And I was like, we should record some of these conversations and put it out for people to hear.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. But like, I'm pretty sure we wanted to do something basketball-ish together as well. And we still have plans for that. Don't worry, I'm not going to let anyone know what we're working on. But like, yeah. So eventually, something led to something. 2 years later, we started a podcast. Your favorite podcast inside Techosystem. The name. So coming up with the name was kind of tedious. I had a bunch of ideas initially that did not work out. I wish I could find a list of these ideas, but I can't. I'm sorry. But eventually, I got inspiration from one of my favorite shows at the time called Inside the NBA, and we just switched out the NBA and replaced it with what we wanted to talk about, which was tech and the tech ecosystem, which we were just learning so much more about from our internship days, right? We're getting more involved and more immersed in it because we had finished school now. So we're becoming workers in the tech ecosystem. So we're like, now we are inside the tech ecosystem. Inside the
You're
tech
feeling
ecosystem.
yourself, right? Yeah. My role on the podcast varies a lot, but I think if I could term it in one word, it would be organizer. So I tend to do a lot of planning, in terms of like, hey, when do we release this episode? How do we document this thing? How do we do that? So I tend to be, I think I act as a product manager, if I put it in the ecosystem context.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, Manuel is a product manager actually. He's the one that sends how
I'm
far
the alpha guy,
to the to the Telegram group
literally.
chat. I'd say I am more of the, should I say creative? Is that too big of a word? But
No,
like
yeah,
I come
I
up with
think you're a
content.
creative. No, you're a creative director. I think that's like a. I think that fits.
Yes, something
Yeah.
like that. Something like that. But I come up with a lot of, you know, content stuff, newsletter, description, episodes, social media too sometimes. But like apart from that, Emmanuel actually handles a lot of the organization, the organization structure that we have. Like, that's mostly Emmanuel for real, and I'm grateful for that because it's not like I can't do it though. It's just that sometimes I'm lazy, so I've been procrastinating for a long time, and Emmanuel will just go ahead and do it eventually. So, but like I bring, I'm the vibes bringer. I bring a lot of vibes to the pod. You know that person that is not really on the group project as much, but when it shows up, there's a lot of vibes on the group project. So like,
Wow.
that's
At first, I thought you were praising me, and then all of a sudden, you took everything back to yourself. No problem. We move.
vibes bringer. Remember?
My favorite episode so far. To be honest, I think the latest episode is usually my favorite because, of course, it's the one I remember the most, and it just shows that with every new episode we get better, and I don't have any favorites. So the current latest episode is my favorite episode.
My favorite episode so far is Inside the Mind of an RPA Consultant. I think that's my favorite episode. I had a lot of fun on that one because our guest was was a really interesting person, and he told us really interesting stories, and it was fun. It was fun recording it. It was fun editing it and whatnot because I had to re-listen to the episode, and I was like, this is cool stuff, right? And yeah, Inside the Mind of an RPA Consultant. Check it out. That's my favorite episode so far. What's a fun fact about me? Emmanuel is going to disagree, but I I have an elephant's memory. Yeah, I remember things a lot.
But
If you
you
already
forgot we
disagree,
spent more than
I
one
don't
month
play.
to get an internship. But okay.
No, that one is different because in my head you left in June and I came in May.
So I left in your head.
Right? But like I remember the first time I met Emmanuel. I came very early to work. First day, intern, first day at work. I came very early. Emmanuel came
Anyone who
late
meets
as
me
usual.
shall remember. So
But it was very awkward. This guy, I was setting up, so they had asked him to help me set up, right? Just get familiar with the company's tools and stuff. And Emmanuel came to my table, asked me, "What's your name?" My name is. I wasn't saying David Chuka at the time. I was saying Chuka Wajobu. Now I say David Chuka. I don't know why. It just sounds more catchy. David Chuka. Yeah. Anyways, he came to my desk, and the first thing Emmanuel did was Google me. He looked me up on the internet. That's one of the most awkward things anyone has ever done in
yeah,
my
I think I've
presence
heard this story
before.
before.
So, that's because I'm like, why is this boy googling me? And he was like, I can't find you on the internet, and that was my cue to know that there was no evidence. Like I had not made it, so I had to work hard. So now, if you Google me, you find me there.
Hmm.
So thank you, Emmanuel.
Hmm.
You you
They'll
you,
find your
bought, you lit
LinkedIn.
a fire in me.
Okay.
Find me on LinkedIn.
Uh, Something fun about me. To be honest, I think I have worked so professionally that I have everything. I have answers to questions like this. I'm going to give you the professional one. I'm going to give you the one that I'm going to come up with right now. So the professional one I usually say is, "Oh yeah, I play basketball. I play basketball and I play video games and I run a podcast." But you guys already know that. Um, so aside from that,
I think something fun should be unexpected,
yeah.
something odd, something that no one really knows.
Well, to be honest, I don't know what's fun about me. Hmm. Yeah, I used to sing in choir.
No,
No, I,
no.
I really took music seriously. Like I had, well, I think I had a voice. I don't know if if anyone else agrees, but I was actually in
Yeah, I
choir
don't
for,
agree, Sha. I have videos of you singing.
oh, well, that's in recent years. But when I was in choir, I used to take singing seriously. What else is
Mm,
fun about me?
that's crazy.
Um,
No, we just it's fine.
One. Okay. Well, that's in my past. I don't know about. Okay, so in my present, to be honest, yeah, I like to read. That sounds so wrong. I like
Next
to, no,
question.
no, okay. I love, okay, one fun thing about me is that I love superhero movies, no matter how bad they are. Everybody's complaining
That's true.
about
I can sympathize with
everybody's complaining about Marvel. But every time they release a new movie, I secretly watch it and then insult them in public. But, but I
that.
always love superhero movies. Yeah.
I can testify to that because Emmanuel has recommended movies to me, saying, "Yeah, it's so crazy. You're going to love it." And then I watch it and I'm like,
Not here, please. Not here, please. If I didn't say that, you wouldn't have said it anyway. So I don't believe you.
fun fact about the podcast. Mm, we started as a fully remote podcast and we've been fully remote for a long time. So we have about 3 or 4, maybe 5. I don't think it's up to 5, but let's just say 5.
Hmm.
5 episodes that we've recorded in person, right? But like the remaining, like I don't see Emmanuel. Emmanuel doesn't see me. We hop on internet stuff and we make it work. And
Yeah.
it's
And
been all right. And I
another
think a
fun
lot of
fact
remote
about that is we started recording using WhatsApp. No, actually, it wasn't WhatsApp. It was like normal call.
It was
So
WhatsApp call first, and then
no,
WhatsApp
no.
call didn't work,
Oh
so
yeah,
it was
WhatsApp.
normal
Yeah,
call.
because it relied on the internet. Yeah. So we used
Yeah,
to do WhatsApp call to sync, and then we record each other's audio separately, and then we realized quickly that WhatsApp wasn't getting it done. So we started buying airtime, and then we will call each other to sync and then record separately. Before, yeah, we eventually found a nice tool called Riverside to record
Yeah,
remotely, and that has been what we've been using since then.
that's a free sponsorship for Riverside. Give
Yeah,
us a call.
yeah, actually. I like to see Inside the Ecosystem as a conversation between two friends and a guest. So it's a light-hearted talk about tech. So it's kind of like how it's kind of podcast you listen to when you're relaxed and at the same time you're learning a lot. So for me, I see it as so when I listen to I actually do listen to the podcast sometimes. And when I do, I feel like I'm doing it, let's say I'm cooking or I'm jogging or I'm doing something mundane and I'm learning a lot. I feel like it's a kind of cheat code. So it's not hardcore, but at the same time, you learn so much from it.
Yeah, I totally agree with Emmanuel. Actually, it's a conversation between two friends, and we try to make it as inclusive as possible. We try to invite different people from around the tech ecosystem because some people think if you're not technical, right, and you work in tech, then you're just like maybe you're different from everyone else. But like we know that everyone has a part to play in the tech ecosystem, and then we try to include everybody because as long as you're inside the ecosystem, you should be on the show, and we should talk about your experience and your
Mm.
journey so far, right? So we try to do that, and it's a chill podcast. It's a light-hearted podcast. You can listen to it, maybe on your way to work during work hours. You can just chill with it, right? Because we have fun, we laugh, we gist, we discuss, we talk about very insightful topics, and we have important conversations that are not necessarily being had elsewhere. But shout out to those people that are also having the conversations. But yeah, Inside Ecosystem podcast is very, 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 very insightful, and it's nice. That's what sets us apart. We're fun
Yeah.
and we're insightful. We're fun insightful.
So initially, when we started the podcast, we started off by inviting people from within our friendship circles. But over time, we kind of reached out a bit further. So when we find people doing interesting things in different careers in tech, we just cold email them, send them a DM on Twitter or something, and if they agree, we set up a recording time and then we record. So that's how we find new guests.
Yeah, totally, totally. Step out with just our friends and people that we knew, but now it's like it's different people. Like if we think you're cool, we're going to invite you to the show to come and talk about your life and tech in general. And
Hmm.
sometimes we even have people reach out to us. Sometimes
Yeah,
that I like your show. I'd like to feature on. We're like, yeah,
actually,
sure.
yeah,
I've learned a lot actually.
and
Uh,
we've been through a lot.
we've been through a lot, man. For being honest, we've been through a lot. But we've learned persistence and perseverance is actually, and consistency too, is actually very important, right? Because we've had a lot of highs and a lot of lows, ups and downs. And another thing we learned
Yeah,
is we learned
totally.
why people
There's
start
so
podcasts
much to
and
be
quit
learned from just the journey itself.
after a couple of episodes. We learned why a lot of people can't run podcasts for a long time.
Yeah.
That's one thing we learned. But running podcast has also given me like a whole different perspective on what how it feels like to own something,
Hmm.
like being responsible for something, right? Showing up
Hmm.
to calls to discuss the next episode and planning with your team members, with your co-host,
Hmm.
right? So like there's been a lot to learn actually. That's made me quite responsible. Like I have to consciously think about how things are going to go because at the end of the day, it's your voice on the show, right? And if it
Hmm.
doesn't do well, if it doesn't sound great, if it's a little bit mediocre, if it's not good enough, like people are going to say that is your show. So you actually have to put in effort. So it has taught me hard work.
Mm.
Yes, that's what hard work. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. Um, producing the show has been, I would say, stressfully satisfying. So when you work on something so hard and at the end of the day you feel tired, but that tiredness, it comes with a lot of satisfactions. Like, yeah, I really worked hard and I'm getting results. Also, whenever we get comments from our listeners saying, "Hey, I really love the show. I really gained this and that," that fuels the whole thing. So there's a lot of reward for the work we're doing, even if we're doing it for free. It's very rewarding. Another thing I've learned from the show is um, what people see on the surface is not as easy as it seems. So, for example,
Yeah.
it's so easy to listen to a podcast, but it takes a lot of effort to produce one. It's so easy to listen to a song, but I bet it takes more effort to produce a song than produce a podcast. So you could imagine how much effort it takes to record a 10-minute thing,
Or
an
YouTube
hour,
video. And
all those kind of things. So it makes me appreciate creators more.
for the podcast, future goals. What's our 5-year plan? Well, we have a couple of things in the works currently. We're adding more segments, or should I say, no, not
Episode
segments. We're
types,
adding,
episode
yes,
series.
series, a more episode series. Yes, we are working on starting video content, so it won't just be audio like
Like this.
everyone knows that it is currently.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, you've seen our faces finally, so most likely expect more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so some other things. We are improving the quality of the podcast, like by a ton. So like, just get ready to, you know, enjoy the show more. And some other things that I probably won't spill here, but like they're coming. So just look forward to it. Subscribe to our newsletter to get updates before anyone else. Check out our social media and just look forward to everything that we're doing because we're doing a lot in the future and I'm
Yep.
excited about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So I think the best way to stay updated, like you said, the newsletter and social media. And if you have been following us of recent, we've been posting a lot, and there will be a lot more of those. A lot of things for you to engage with. So we encourage you to stay connected to us and engage. Let us know what you think. Send us questions, feedback, and all that, and we will try our best to make the podcast the favorite tech podcast in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching to the end. Really appreciate all the efforts. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. This was fun. We hope we can make more videos and answer more of your questions in the future. My name is David Chuka, and I'm a co-host on Inside the Techosystem.
And I'm Emmanuel. I'm also your co-host of Inside Techosystem.